The fight with the thing wasn't as traumatic as I thought it might be. I think things went well, considering it was an ancient ritual, whatever, to something. I don't know. I still don't trust it. I'm glad we destroyed it, but I have a feeling whatever it was, it didn't stop it.
I think I've managed to calm the beast for now. My mentor, Garrick, he wasn't wrong. Maybe it's getting easier again to finally have myself when I use that capability, that other spirit that resides. But I couldn't help at the same time as I ripped into that thing's. That was a really close one. The horns and the stomach are gonna ache for a couple days. Needless to say, I'm exhausted, but hard to think this is what I was originally going to go for. There were still plans before I got sidetracked to become a monster hunter to begin with, but...
We were allowed to return to the town, which I did not expect. I mean, I know I'm good with words, but that was excellent. I mean, without me, we'd have died there, of course. I'm glad we can still stay in Stillburn for a bit. I thought every chance was going to be over.
I wasn't expecting to find Dimitri Yond. I could have easily collected on that second life that Yond's family owes me. But I need answers, and that's the only reason I think I kept him alive. And you know, often when I still think about what happened with the people from the past, the people I used to travel with, I never really had direct connections with them specifically, but I don't know. You sort of see people have a skill about them. Oddly enough, I hate to admit that in some way or another. Cillian seems to be very persuasive.
I think me and Amrita are good again, or at least as good as we can be. I like that. Time for the coin to flip again.
Maybe that's why I asked him to accompany me to drop off Jan, because using Lorelei would be a bad idea. She's not a neutral party, and this may sound maybe rude or awful, but I just feel like we never really became acquainted or had a connection in the beginning, because she just showed up at the time randomly in the course of something about a kid. I don't really know whatever happened to that kid, or one thing led to another. Eventually she just came along, and well, we know the rest of the story from there.
I need to talk to Mara. I have good faith that everything is going to be okay here. People are going to die, but people always die. And there will be people left to remember him.
I think I'm really exhausted, and for the time being, at least until I have that meeting, I'm going to just avoid the others for now. I need to rest and recuperate. I hate to admit this as well. I'm probably going to regret this in the long run, and he's going to be a smug bastard about it, but I might need Cillian's help should something go wrong, because he's a neutral party, and if any lies or whatever they say to me, I'm afraid I don't want to slip up. That's my fear. I don't know what's going to happen from here.
Amrita, you are rudely awakened by the distant, deep rumble of this consistent boom, boom, boom in the early morning. It takes you a moment to even register where you are. You're hit with the smell of dung and fur and blood. Fortunately, only the blood is yours. The rest is from the equine animals in this stable when you finally realize that's where you had passed out and are now awoken by the distant church bell ringing in the dawn, calling the residents of Silburn to the Sunday service. The rest of you, having spent the night in rooms you were told were made reserved and you're not required to pay for the remainder of your stay at the Brass Bell Saloon.
Very nice.
Lorelei, however, you hear this and you're startled awake out of this dream, this strange state, and immediately go to pull up the sleeve of whatever gown you were sleeping in, and you find on the inside of your right forearm these 3 glyphs in blackened, burned flesh.
As if like trying to hide it from herself, she like pulls the sleeve back over them and just like clamps a hand over them.
Asuriel's next to you, seemingly curling herself back under the covers, pulling her head underneath a pillow so that she doesn't have to hear the bell.
Kind of contemplating what to do, she will shake Asuriel and like pull some of the covers away from her to get her out of bed.
What happened? What?
I need you to read something for me. And I just pull the sleeve up and show her the glyphs on my arm. Like, what do these say anything? Do you know what these say?
Okay. She'll take a good look. Does she remember the dream, or?
It's interesting. It's like when you wake up and you remember that you had a dream, but you don't really remember what all happened in it. As you're trying to remember the events specifically that occurred, it's distant, but you find yourself absent-mindedly scratching your own arm as if there's some itch, Asuriel. There's no symbols, but you feel almost that phantom presence. But you have to wipe your eyes. The one that had been blinded, able to see again, but still a little itchy and full of sleep from the night before. As you focus in and cock your head to look at these glyphs, which look to you very much like burn marks, almost like a brand. And I will say also, Lorelei, can I have you roll a d10, please?
Uh-oh.
Stop with the scary D's.
Don't die.
8.
Is it good?
Cool.
Is it bad?
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Oh, you'll know. Asuriel, there are 3 of these symbols. You instantly recognize them as being demonic script, which doesn't represent words and is not exactly individual letters either. Demonic runes are more like segmented sounds. The first one sounds something akin to hri, the second va, and the last is the sound rax.
Oh my god, you have a power word! You can shout like dragons!
I don't think that's what this. I don't think that'll help me if I do that. I think that'll make things 100 times worse.
No.
Duh.
She'll start reading it out. It's like, read.
Oh my god.
Yeah, as soon as she kind of hears the symbols together, she immediately stands up, sort of brushes the hair out of her face and starts pacing while like starting to scratch at it. Like, why? I don't understand. I don't get it. Why now? Everyone's supposed to be resting. Everyone's just been through so much. I can't. Asuriel, you can't tell anyone about this. Not today.
What is it? What's wrong?
Just no one can know. Not right now. I'm just gonna stay in here for today.
I don't get it. What's wrong?
It's nothing. I just need to stay in here. You need to go. You need to go. You need to leave.
But I think she's gonna lift her sleeve up to get a good look at her arm. I don't know what to do.
Just go. Pretend everything's fine. That's the church bell. Just go to church, relax, and I'll just stay here and try and figure something out. Okay?
Okay.
You can't tell anyone about this yet. I'll tell them at some point. Not right now.
Another secret? I don't want to keep doing that.
It's not a secret. It's just not presenting them with another problem right now. Okay? It's not a good time to tell them. I will tell them. Just not right now. Just go. You need to go. Just leave me alone.
Okay. She'll go out of the room, and then she's gonna close the door and then stand at the door.
If there's like a chair, I'm gonna drag it over and barricade the door.
Sure. And it's laborious to even drag this chair. That puncture wound in your stomach still causing you to double over. You feel exhausted. Everyone is able to get in the benefits of short rest, except for Lorelei. Your hit point maximum is reduced by the 8 that you rolled.
Oh no. Oh god.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, it's bad.
it's bad.
Fine.
Let's say if that happens 2 more times, I am toast.
Wait, sorry, to get this straight, it's gonna cost a level of supply to heal ourselves?
No. But whatever level you're at, if it has negative effects on your ability to heal yourself, like being at 0, like basically when Amrita goes through and kind of recognizes that she is out of everything, she has disadvantage on hit dice spent, and yeah, that's the main thing. So any hit dice she spends, even the 1, she has to roll twice and take the lower result.
I see.
Oh yeah, I needed to do that. Let me see. I gotta re-roll it. Huh, not
Still,
bad.
10's not bad. However, if you remain bloodied, this applies to anyone. If you remain bloodied after spending what hit die you can, then you do incur 1 level of exhaustion.
That includes me, right?
I am
Yeah, everybody.
just above bloodied.
I am not, so
I'm a single hit point above bloody, I believe.
Yeah, I am not. So
Wait.
I-
Wait. No! I'm right on bloodied. I'm at 22, and 22 is my bloodied mark.
Aw,
But
So close, but
gonna cry.
yes, still wake up feeling
can I
the
use my
effects.
human determination to reroll my
No.
hit die?
Not how that works.
You can't determine your wounds closed.
Lorelei unfortunately cannot even get the effects
Yeah.
of short rest.
She is just gonna barricade herself in this room and cry for a bit.
Who all is getting up with the intention of heading to the church for this morning service?
No, Acrio is bright and early, half an hour before the bell rings. Well, probably more like an hour and a half.
Which is probably why he incurs a level of exhaustion, because it was very late when you guys finally got in and reconvened after the church with the priestess, and then heading back, waiting for those who did return to the saloon, getting everything arranged. You're functioning on maybe 4 hours at best of sleep. And it's strange, Acrio, waking up that, here's a question. How long has it been approximately since he left the Elgid grounds and returned to Stinzia?
Probably a half a year. He got sent on a lot of tiny errand missions before actually getting into
Sure.
real shit.
In the past 6 months, you haven't really utilized that spell that you feel comes from the Forge, but was refined by your teachers at the Elgid grounds. That ability to identify innate properties, it's still so strange to feel the knowledge of them as if it was something you had always known, and using it on the thing that was Heather Hillcrest. You wake up with these similar feelings of a calloused palm in your own hand, so small, the exhilaration of being, picked up by someone much bigger than you and tossed, and you can't tell for sure if those were her memories or ones of your own father when you were much younger, before you grew up some, before you really realized what he could be like, before you spent nights unable to sleep listening to him and your mother shouting at each other, plates smashing against walls, a door slamming before things go silent, and you threw the covers over your head before you spent your days wandering outside of Braylet, outside of everything. And it's difficult now to process what the differences were in what you're remembering now. They bleed together as you're preparing and finally seeing the light filter in through the window and the church bell ringing in the distance.
Acrio will kind of do this new belly flop thing that he has where he puts the back of his chest plate on the bed and lays down on it, puts the front piece on, and then buckles it, and that's all he'll wear. And then once he has that on, he'll throw his cloak, take his hat, put that on, and go wake everybody else up, only to probably find Asuriel awkwardly sitting outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
Bright and early? Says to Asuriel. What? You're up bright and early, it seems. Waiting for Lorelei to get done?
Oh, she's not feeling well.
Feeling well. Like she's sick?
Yeah, she said she just wants to stay in bed. We should go.
How sus is that?
I mean, she got stabbed in the stomach really hard the previous night, so I mean, it definitely tracks.
Did you take care of her, Asuriel?
I tried, but she said she wanted me to leave a bit, so I just left, and she was still okay. I don't think there's an infection or anything, but she just wants to stay in bed.
Just gonna insight that.
I mean, it seems like she's telling the truth.
I'm
perhaps not the whole truth.
I'm gonna do a sneaky. Yeah, you can't. I was gonna say, just seeing how quiet Lorelei is when she's crying.
Most in-character thing you've ever said.
Hey.
Wait, where's
Damn. He came for your kneecaps.
Oh, they're gone. My knees.
Get fucked. Just kidding. Cillian and Amrita, are they around?
Cillian was in the same room with you, just still asleep as you're getting ready.
Okay, I'm gonna slap him awake.
Oh, good method.
Yeah.
Morning. Oh shit, you look like Lorelei. Those are some bags, my man.
Lorelei? Oh, yeah. Sleep. Hard to come by when you're bleeding out.
Yeah, makes sense. Oh fuck, is it church time? Can't believe those didn't wake me up. They're fucking loud.
I have literally been getting in my armor for the past half hour, and you didn't hear any of that. It is actually impressive how hard you sleep.
I mean, I'm used to sleeping, I don't know, on rocks. So a bed is pretty nice sometimes. Well, we have beds, but not.
I would have
not
assumed
always.
like the
cots,
whole
typically.
Being out in wilderness, you kind of have to be a light sleeper or you get murdered part.
I mean, our family was large. There were always people awake, which meant I could get away with, hiding and sleeping.
Fair point. All right, anyway. Get up. Lorelei's apparently sleeping in for the morning. Don't know where Amrita is, though.
She split off from me. I think she needs some time on her own. Some pretty mind-breaking shit happened last night for her. I don't think we'll see her at church, at least.
Okay. Good point. Okay, then I guess it'll just be the three of us.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it'll be a great time. All right,
I think we'll...
Sunday best. See you downstairs for breakfast.
Sure. Let me switch my 2 shirts.
Fucker. He'll just let out the subtlest of sighs and walk out to meet up with Asuriel and wait for Cillian.
Yeah, I'll catch up with him. We'll go to church.
The Asuriel's even worse than Cillian, though. She only has 1 pair of clothes.
Yeah.
There's still blood on that, Asuriel. We're going to church.
I don't have anything else.
Oh,
you can't just magic it away?
Yeah, isn't that like your whole thing?
That's like the one thing I'd use magic for. To not have to deal with the tedious stuff. No, you can just make light appear. Woo!
Yeah.
I can fix it, but I can't make it clean.
Right. Back row it is. We will sit in the back row. Here, back row corner where nobody can see us.
As you exit the saloon, you find there's a pair of the ranch hands, one of which you had seen the night before, the other one around town. They're holding the base of a ladder, leaned up against the side, while the tall, red-headed, middle-aged man, who's still, a little childlike, is up on the top and has a new leather strap with the bell that he is trying to hang back onto the sign, wearing his, decent coat and nice-looking pants, obviously on his way to the church as well, but made to stop off and do this beforehand.
Ooh,
you see him.
Good reunion.
Yeah, managed to get that back on, and he looks down at you and just waves as if nothing odd had ever occurred between you.
Morning.
The ranch hands give you more of a side eye and curt nod.
Asuriel happily waves back at Big Tuck.
He seems to look around, waiting for someone else to appear in your crowd, and kind of disappointed when that does not occur.
I'll tip my hat to the ranch hands and say, lovely Sunday for church, is it not?
No reply, but you do see many people walking down the boardwalks on the side of the main street, making their way to the north end of town. Several of them, including the children that you had brought from the witches' caves near Gulst in the Summerwald, kind of tugging at new itchy shirts that they're not really comfortable in yet, but they look nice. They're kind of starched and stiff, but
It'll take some wearing out.
Mm-hmm. I want to mingle a bit when walking over to just have a small talk with some of the kids.
Sure. Which they are happy to do. You will run across the head Cathar of this area, Casper Lowe, and not far from him, a very nicely dressed in a new floral blue pattern, the young Myra.
You know, I said it wrong.
Moira.
Yeah, I'll walk over to her. Myra, you look incredible.
Oh, morning.
Morning. Going to church?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Listen, I a bit later, I have something to talk about. You free later this afternoon?
Are you?
I mean, there are many things going on, but sort of.
To look at Casper and then back at you and over at Acrio and Asuriel. Asuriel, who's still kind of limping, obviously still a bit wounded, but keeping up. I'm sorry. Yeah. We can talk.
Listen, I'm not great at apologies, so I won't try at one. But at least let me make it up to you. All right?
Make a persuasion check.
Myra, poor Myra.
A $1 million smile.
She will reach out and take your hand. Okay, I can do that.
Great. And I'll just walk with her and try to make some small talk about whatever places
So
I've
kind
been.
of like, if it seems you're going the same direction, kind of like hook her arm into yours.
And I'll just try to slowly make her like me. Sort of in a manipulative way,
Work
I
on
guess. But he doesn't really realize that.
The trio of you make it to the stone structure of the church with the high steeple and the symbol of Avacyn peaked atop it. There are an unusual number of Cathars kind of blocking the path and the view almost to the graph on the north side of the building, more or less directing people away from that, though that would not be on the way to the entrance to the church anyway.
Sarah's just doing her best trying to hide the blood.
How do you hide blood?
Different layers of cloth wrapped over the dirtiest ones.
I was about to say, does blood have layers?
Everything's just covered in blood, and she's like, "Don't look at me." No.
The priestess Rinfert will welcome everyone in. There's a simple pipe organ played in the corner up by the platform with the podium. Not the massive building-sized construct of the cathedral in Corsiva that the brother Valentin would play. This is a, more piano-sized, but with several pipes, and an older woman who's playing. There's a small choir of children in kind of these white robes with Abyssinian symbol kind of stitched into the front of them, one of which you recognize as being one of the children who's a little bit confused and doesn't really know all of the words that they're supposed to be singing, but doing their best.
Just give him a small thumbs up.
Dorime. No. Me not know the lyrics.
You all take a seat in the back pew, trying not to be overly observed, and Asuriel not wanting to walk much further because his leg's starting to ache quite a bit. You can see the back of Cooper Hillcrest's head, as well as the red hair of his wife sitting next to him in one of the pews closer to the front.
Leave him alone.
Eventually his son joins him with several of the main hands from his ranch, all kind of like taking up this pew. You would see that the waitress Samantha is in the one just behind them. Obvious familial resemblance there. Cooper will at times turn and observe people coming in, looking back and catching eyes with you. There's a moment of recognition and just a silent communication, neither he nor you speaking anything, but with an understanding, as he then turns back and faces the front, listening to the music.
I think Cillian is genuinely kind of shaken by Cooper. Like, he messed him up a little bit.
What are Asuriel and Acrio's thoughts?
Acrio hates him, but not for what he's done, but because he's very similar to his own father. Especially when he was yelling at his wife to go back inside.
Asuriel has a very strong dislike for him, to say the least. But she's not gonna show it for the time being.
Mm-hmm. The priestess will step up behind the podium, taking her staff and leaning it against it. Everyone kind of goes into this hushed whispers as they trail off their conversations that were had. You can make an insight check, actually, if you would like to, on the priestess. If you would be so
not like to.
I just like flexing the one thing I'm good at every once in a while.
Acrio, you see something akin to shame on her face, possibly mixed with a bit of apprehension.
Oh, that's interesting. And what is this in regards to? Just her general expression while being up?
Right. Yeah, as she gets up to the podium and addresses the crowd and says, "Let us pray to Avacyn, daughter of mercy, wherever you may be. Protect us. We know that you have done so for so long, sometimes without appreciation. So many of us try to follow in these ways. So many of us falter. And to Bruna, the light of alabaster, shine on this small graph and these souls therein, a light we so little deserve. And if you see Avacyn in her travels, we pray, perhaps tell her we miss her. We miss her dearly." The sermon she then gives is a bit pensive and involves the themes of forgiveness, primarily to oneself, for things that mistakes one might have made that were not of one's own fault or understanding at the time, but the importance of letting go of one's own issues if necessary, and making recompense where possible. Mm-hmm. And those who attend this church service, for the remainder of the day, any angelic healing that you might receive will be doubled.
Woo! Wait, like all of my spells are doubled?
Angelic healing, yeah.
Okay, got it.
That you
receive.
Her
style like more subdued, or is she like energetic when she talks?
As she has been for most of the time you've known her, she's a bit reserved. She's not the most expressive person, perhaps maybe a little more than most Stensians that you know. She is obviously not from this area originally, but yeah, she's still relatively subdued.
Okay, thanks.
She probably feels really bad about our fuck up in the graves, the whole grave eaters thing. Probably that.
Amrita, what is she doing during the time when most people in this city are cloistered in the church service?
I feel that in this moment she kind of just gasps and coughs out, feeling her stomach, the pain of it just shooting through. She hears the sound, and a part of her, as she sort of holds on to a post in the stables, stares, and she looks at it for a long time, and it makes her mind wandered to her childhood. But while she almost feels a draw to go there, she just feels that that's not where she deserves to be, and just kind of goes over and pets the mane of Petunia. I'll try to get you something to eat as well. Sorry. And I think she'll just kind of go walking, sticking to the alleyways and the shadows, and feeling tiredness weigh on her, and probably decide to look for a medical place just to inquire to pass the time, but keeping to herself and making sure nobody else really sees her.
Yeah, you know that there is an apothecary, a doctor's residence and office here in the city of Silburn. Takes you a while to locate the exact area, but once you find it, you're pretty confident this is the one that has been spoken about by several of the others who have been here.
She'll look to see if it's open in case this person might have gone to church, just in case before.
Somewhat to your surprise, you do find that it is open.
All right, then she's gonna go inside.
Find a simple wood-furnished office. The smells of various medical equipment and herbs stronger in your nostrils than they would be even in most. And behind the desk, this strangely dark leather-clad individual with a beak-like mask covering his face. Before you're able to say anything, it's strange. She's got these like reflective black goggles almost turn up toward you from whatever papers he was scratching on. How can I assist you?
Excuse me, sir. I wasn't sure if you were open given what day it is, but...
Not everyone is observant. Some people need medical aid at any hour. The sound in his voice is gruff and clearly a bit tired, almost as exhausted perhaps as you are.
I was just mostly wondering if there were any bandages you might have. I just have a few cuts I could probably take care of myself, but I don't have enough on me. All I have is probably 1 coin at most.
What kind of coin?
She reaches into her pocket and I forget what EP is.
That's a half gold.
Yeah.
There's a sigh behind his mask, and you get hit with the smell of this floral air, scented as it breathes out from the beak. I will buy bandages, if that's all you require. You sound worse for wear.
You're not wrong, but I'm not gonna have myself do a full treatment if I can't afford it.
I can work out payment plans for the future. We need to pay in advance. I don't want anyone to die in this town.
She contemplates that for a moment. Then once I find something, then if you're willing, I just need the check of the arms, but mostly the stomach.
What are you looking to find?
As I said, I just have simple cuts. Might have bumped into something sharp. Nothing more than that. Just carelessness on my part.
Might be the clumsiest person I've ever met. As his face just kind of like tracks up and down you.
Having a hunting life is not an easy one. At least I've done several things in the past.
Be surprised if you didn't fall down a mountain. Sit down.
She does, while also just kind of keeping her wits about her, just curiously looking around the room.
How much of a physical examination are you going to allow a doctor to do?
Probably not a whole lot, as she said, just mostly points the cuts and not a full body one.
He will look to the front door. There's like one of those rack deals where like the cloth hang between it. That's kind of like an accordion style, and like pulls that out to block the view from where you are to anyone who might enter. Your armor will have to be removed in your shirt.
I can remove the armor. Can I just lift the shirt up just mid here? As I said, it's only the stomach.
Acceptable.
There's almost this hesitance as she goes to remove the armor, but she does.
He won't pay too much attention to the minor cuts, although he will take note of a pretty deep scar that's, down the side of your cheek, still healing. Probably offer something for that. And after an examination, wrap some of your wounds with these bandages and strips of cloth. You find he pulls out of a jar that's soaked in like honey and vinegar with several other herbs, combination of which you're not completely familiar with all of the smells, but he will lay them on some of the worst wounds before wrapping them up.
Bites like kind of her tongue from the pain, just like, how much will the bill be total? I'd like to know.
I'll have to do some math. And he will effectively be using the healer's feat. So you're going to regain a 1d6 plus 4 plus your level, effectively maximum number of hit dice. So that's going to be 6 plus 8.
Ooh,
You will receive 14 points of healing throughout the day.
that's a good doctor.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm not bloodied anymore, I think, which is good.
He's able to seal up the wounds, at least get them covered with an antiseptic and various herbs that will help keep the infection at bay. At the end of which, when you're kind of redonning your armor for the rest of the day, step over to his desk, do a quick count of the things he had used and everything like that. For such a simple procedure, we'll say 2 gold.
All right, I can get that for you. I need to just find a job first, as I said. Do you know of anyone looking for particular skills in this town? Anything hunting-wise or something relating to, I don't know, Mistras?
It's my understanding that Cooper Hillcrest is recruiting.
Recruiting for what? Farmhands?
Work.
I'll consider it. But Amrita just like keeps that in her mind. Doesn't think of anything else. Her just thinks back to the night. Okay, I appreciate it again.
It's my job. Try not to bump into anything in the future.
Yeah, I think with that, she'll just sort of exit out of the building and kind of stick to the alleys again, but see if she watches for any people on the street.
There is very few. I mean, you can slink from one hidden area to the next, but there's basically nobody out and about to observe you anyway. It's strange how similar to a ghost town this feels. There are Cathars you would see at intervals, but they're not actively hunting anything. They're just lazily observing the town.
She will also just keep track of the time then, or see if she sees not really any of the others, and probably sees Cillian anywhere at some point, but keeps to herself for the remainder of the time.
What does Lorelei do after processing?
She has, for quite a while, because of just how terrible she feels, she's almost in fight or flight mode. It's this kind of like primal, almost animalistic, and like she's sitting on the floor, back against the wall, just like looking at the glyphs in her arm, and she just thinks, she starts to realize that now she kind of understands how Lars felt a lot better, and she's realizing that that's where she feels like she's going right now. And she pulls open her journal and just like opens it to starts like flipping through it. She can't even read, like her eyes can't focus. And it's almost just like waiting for it. She's just like waiting for something to happen. Like while holding her arm out like it's a bomb about to go off. Like she's just lying on the floor, arm out, waiting for something to go wrong.
Nothing changes throughout the morning. It doesn't fade exactly. It hurts less, but there's still this weird blackish scab-like burn material.
Out of curiosity, if I touch it, does it feel warm?
Not after a certain amount of time, no.
Okay. Yeah,
she's however,
too afraid to go out.
Unlike a cattle brand, which you had seen earlier on in your time here in Silburn, that's kind of like pressed into, it's almost like the skin is bulged out, almost like it's burned from the inside.
And that's what scares her more. Yeah, she kind of tries to barricade the door a bit more, but because of how exhausted she is, she really can't.
Is there anything you guys want to do during the time of your long rest? I know obviously Amrita does, but anyone else before you take the day to, downtime?
Yeah.
You go first.
Okay, sure. First, during the ceremony,
Yeah, it's a ceremony service, yeah.
Service, yeah. I'm assuming Cillian spots the letterworkers girl among the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as he does that, he's like, oh fuck, that's like a thing. So I want to, during the service with my weaver's tools, want to like create a little gift for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like something for in her hair or something. So okay, can I like roll a weaver's tools check, I guess?
Sure, yeah. See how well
Which
you
would
do
be
with it.
Straight dex then, probably?
Yeah, if you're not
Or-
currently proficient with it from your
No,
dice,
I'm not.
yes. Yeah, it's a little clumsy. It's like you know the skills, but your hands don't quite operate the way you know that they should, and especially because you're slightly distracted by everything that's going on. But it's decent, like a little bow sort of thing that you've kind of stitched together.
Do I see him doing this?
I mean,
Right next to me.
Not hiding it.
yeah.
Yeah, can I just like give him a little bit of that forge creation benefit and slap a guidance on that?
I mean, if
Help him.
you would like to, as he's working, yeah, if you look over, see him fiddling with this little piece of cloth that he's kind of stitching.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. Just give him a little bit of a boost.
Yeah, you like to see people making things, and turns out pretty decent. Slightly uneven. One side is a little longer than the other, but you're afraid if you try to, fold it or stitch it down, then it's going to make the other one too long. So you're like, it's going to have to leave it. And it looks pretty decent as you hear Reigen kind of behind you, leaned on the back of the pew. This isn't going to be like the other one, was it? The last time?
Well, no. Because, the last one was great. It was fun.
I'm sure about this. Accidents do happen.
We're gonna stay here for a couple of days, which means she's gonna see me at some point and things are gonna be awkward. I just want to get ahead of that,
All right.
And she's not gonna fall in love with me. Who would fall in love with me? Everyone. Fuck. I'm too hot, Reigen. I'm too hot. Things aren't fair for me.
Yet another one of our family curses.
It sucks. Yeah, and I just want to wait for the service to be over. Is she with her dad?
Yes.
Probably is.
Yeah, both parents. Yes.
Okay.
Reigen will kind of retreat and just say, just don't need to bring along any more baggage. Got enough of that.
I kind of throw him like a dirty look. Like, fuck you. But
He's just gonna like stick his diced tongue out at you.
While another guy like kills themselves behind him. Yeah, okay. You know what? All I want to do is, because, yeah, he doesn't want to face parents. I think he just wants to sneak out early, like a little early. If I don't get the healing benefit, that's fine.
You will still, yeah.
Okay. And I want to just go towards the shop, try to sneak in and just leave it on her bed and just from your traveler. That's what he wants to write.
Give me an acrobatics check, because you're basically going to have to climb up the side to get to her window. It's not locked. Everything's so hot right now. Most windows are open, but it's on the second story. Quarters are above the shop, so...
Gosh.
Sure thing. Oh.
I would die if I saw him being a creep right now.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Oh my god! Yes!
As you're trying to climb up, your foot slips off of like a piece of an old steel gutter, and you like swing down, catch yourself, but you're gonna like bump against the side of the building, which is enough for Amrita to hear commotion, which there was none in the street, peer out and just see Cillian dangling.
Amrita!
Are you breaking in somebody's house?
Well, only with the best intentions.
What? I'm debating on whether I should just leave you here in this mess or just walk away and pretend I didn't see anything.
Please help me. I think my hand is stuck.
Oh my god.
Please get me. Please.
All right. She tries to like go and like catch him or like help him down.
I mean, he hasn't gotten in yet, so you might need to push him up to begin with.
Push him up. You want to go in the way. You know what?
I just don't want her to hate me. That's all. I think there's been enough of that.
Oh my god. I'm helping with the lover. Is that it? And she shoves him up into the window.
Big word.
Cillian, as you're saying that, you get your feet are pushed so hard that your head bumps against the open sill before you double over and like tumble inside.
Oh no, I hope he didn't get a concussion.
Okay, a couple of notes, just a bit less strength next time, please. And he disappears inside. Just laid perfectly on the bed, like sort of strike things, see if she has a diary around here somewhere.
Probably would.
Okay, just read the end, see if his name is dropped.
There's no name, but references to the skin pattern. The vitiligo is pretty clear.
Okay.
She says it reminds her of like a painting.
Yeah, Stein would be floored by that, but I think it's just regular stuff for Cillian. So he just puts it away, smiles for a second, and then tries to leave. Maybe a little bit more graceful.
Yeah, with an assist, you can easily drop, yeah.
Thank you. That's taken care of. You look a little better.
I went to that. This doctor in town. Something.
He's pretty nice, right? I didn't expect him to be that nice.
Rough. That's one word to describe it.
I thought so. Anyways, I need to get a second gift for a second person I pissed off. Want to tag along, or are you doing your own shit?
Actually, we'll just talk along the way. But look, I need someone. Don't be smug about this, otherwise I will hurt you and I will leave you abandoned in a tree for days, hanging by your feet. But I need someone's...
Wait, before you decide, how are you gonna hurt me? Like, first off, I want to see if I have like a fighting chance, or if I'm gonna like it. Okay, sorry. I'll listen. You need my help. What's up?
Look, I have that meeting today, and I need... I'm not feeling... I'm fine right now, but I'm not feeling hot, and if things go awry, I need someone there, and you happen to be neutral party. Like, she's like struggling to say it, just like, so I need your assistance.
You've got
with
it.
That.
No strings attached, I promise. I mean, you just helped me, like, doing something.
Break again into a woman's house.
For love.
No less.
Well, love for... I'm gonna stop talking. Yeah, you're gonna have my help.
Please do, because I will regret it. Even asking you.
I do want to get like a little gift for Myra as well.
Mm-hmm. What exactly are you going for?
Like a pendant bracelet without any pendants on it yet.
Okay, a little charm bracelet deal that you can add to.
Ooh, Pandora. Fancy.
Yeah, I think that would be easily found depending on what quality of materials. It's going to be a little more costly, but if you're going something like simple clay and wooden beads, nice polished, probably half gold, but something more expensive could be up to like 2 or 3 gold for like,
right.
full metal ringlets and, if you're going for gold or something like that.
I don't have any money.
Oh gosh.
Should have thought of that first, maybe.
Can I like convince him to trade?
What would you be offering in exchange?
Wait, fuck, Amrita's with me, isn't she? Kind of threw a wrench in my plans. No, you know what? I'll do it in front of her. That's the way Cillian is anyway. I have a bit of Wolfsbane that I don't really care about anymore because he pretty much trusts Amrita. And I kind of want to make like a whole story about, did you hear about Corsica? Like, werewolves are going up there, and I mean, it's just going to be a matter of time before they're up here too, and you're going to need something to defend yourself. And I want to try to trade the Wolfsbane.
You can make a persuasion check on that, but I'm going to say it's a disadvantage because he would kind of just like, you realize how close we live to the Markov estate, right? Shouldn't be any werewolves around here, but he'll take a look at it.
Sure, makes sense.
Still pretty good stuff, huh? There are other uses for it. I can give you one of the simple ones, just one. No charms with it, none of the little pendants on it, just the simple. That's the best you're gonna get for this.
Right, that's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you very much.
Good to do business with you.
Great. And I'll leave as quick as possible because he did it, and I'm out.
She just almost walks ahead of him in stride, purposely going to the place she wants to go to at some point, just like, you're such a lying son of a bitch. Jeez.
I got rid of it. That means something, right? And I'm trying to lie less, if that's it's hard, patterns and stuff. And I have a ghost over my shoulder, who tells me to lie all the time. I'm like, throw eyes at Reagan.
Literally.
It's just a lot easier.
It is. I know, but apparently people don't like it.
Is he that weird-looking fellow that just appeared one day that we all saw?
Oh yeah, he is. He's a strong one. I think he's starting to figure out how it works. All that ghost stuff.
You know what?
Just be glad you don't know him. That's all I'm saying. He's a dick.
What? I'm a delight.
I feel like she's awkwardly watching some kind of argument, but she just it's like Achilles talking to himself. It's like, oh.
How fucking crazy would it seem if Dariagan talked through Cillian? So it was like he was talking to himself.
What does
like,
that?
Well, I don't think that's a good idea. Well, I don't care.
His voice just keeps changing, like a puppet going back and forth. It's like a really bad ventriloquism act.
You know what? I don't even care anymore at this point, and I still have an issue of a secret of my own, so what is it even? I don't even want to talk about that right now. Ugh.
Yeah, seems like it. That's why you'd mention it, right?
Not that specific one.
It's okay.
It's not okay, all right? But look, this specific thing right now, though, there's a reason why I didn't ask Lorelei and decided to choose you, and I hope you don't make me regret it.
Okay. I'll be there. How close to 12 is it right now?
It's getting pretty close because that's about when services typically let out. So, you ducked out maybe 20 minutes before. So, at this point, it's counting down. You need to start heading that way.
Okay, then we will.
And what was Acrio's reaction when Cillian kind of got up and shuffled past people and headed out?
Just retcon all of that. I fucking grab him by the throat and throw him back in the chair. You're not going anywhere.
Respect Avacyn, you bitch.
Yeah. It's like all of that didn't happen. He's sitting back here. He seems to have a purpose. I don't expect, or Acrio doesn't expect, the people that live outside the walls to necessarily fully believe in Avacyn. Or not believe in her, but worship her. So he doesn't hold it against them. But he's always a little disappointed when people get bored and leave when religious things are brought up. Like Lorelei being like, wow, thanks for the book. I don't want this. Take it back. Runs away.
She's just like the Gravity Falls meme. She's like, wow, this is worthless.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt him too bad. There's just a little sting.
And what does Acrio do once the service has concluded?
Beeline it back to tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. I'm in trouble. Omen's church, I'm in trouble.
As he was forced to leave his injured party mate alone for 3 hours, maybe longer. I don't know how long it was.
Time to have a sit down, Lorelei.
As you,
Clerics.
yeah, you make your way out pretty quickly. You would see that Asuriel is kind of lingers a bit and then is kind of caught by the priestess who calls to speak with her for a time, but you can head on.
Perfect. All alone. Everybody's leaving me, just like my parents.
Oh god, no.
I mean, technically you
I
left
love
them.
Do you want to
And
come
then-
join the
Wait a minute.
sad cleric room?
And then I showed back up, and they were like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Peace."
Now get your ass to the sad cleric room right now.
Yeah, I'll make my way over to
Any room
the
Lorelei's in
tavern.
is the sad cleric room.
Shut up.
Yeah. It's just there's such a high ratio of sad cleric to anybody else that it's always the sad cleric room.
People are starting to follow you toward the tavern for lunch. Clearly you can smell the fires going and the food that's being prepared in the kitchen area. The broad-shouldered, very square-jawed bartender is waiting and ready for the after-church crowd, but gives you a good morning as you rush past and head up the stairs.
Yeah, and just as I'm passing, I'll slap a gold on the table and ask for food for 2. Probably keep the tip, and I'll just keep walking.
Gotcha.
Yeah, then I'll head up the stairs. Knock on Lorelei's door.
She's still kind of on the floor, and she doesn't know who it is. She's like, I'm fine, just go away, please.
Does that sound like she's fine at all?
Not really, no.
There's a baseline of Lorelei, not being okay. This is way below that.
Yeah, this is 18 HP levels.
No, this
of...
is 16 HP.
Oh,
16 HP max levels of
even
I'm in trouble.
Better, even better. Oh,
You could
I'll
probably
knock-
just open the door as well, because I only propped a chair against it.
Hey,
It opens
hey.
the other way.
Yeah, he swings it open and the chair falls over. Yeah, he'll knock on the door again and tell her that it's him.
I'm fine. Did Asuriel tell you anything?
Not for the most part. She just was Asuriel as often, making everything seem suspicious. Also, I know that you got impaled in your stomach last night, so I know for a fact that you're not okay.
If I told you that wasn't the biggest problem right now, would that freak you out?
I would say it'd probably be a better idea if you opened this door.
I'll just walk over and I'll pull the chair away and just let the door swing open. And she looks pathetic, like she's like drenched in sweat, bleeding.
You have not done anything since last night, have you?
No.
All right. Come on, we're gonna go get you a bath.
I can't.
Why?
I'm just gonna look around the hallways and drag him into the room.
Yeah, I'll
shut the door.
Take a step in and close the door behind me, cross my arms.
I'm gonna roll up the sleeve and show him the demonic
Arm.
glyphs.
He like recoils ever so slightly at the. He can't read demonic, but he's been taught what demonic looks like, right?
Yeah, you would recognize the glyphs even though you don't know what they mean.
He'll lean just ever so slightly forward, hand on the back of her arm, and then just very gently with his other hand run it over the 3 runes.
It's interesting. It's got a similar texture to charred wood from like a campfire. The way, a burned up piece has that kind of like flaky, split pieces to it. It feels similar to that, and it's blackened in the same way.
When did this happen?
Last night, this morning, it was here when I woke up.
What happened?
I had a dream, and Asuriel was in it again. She was there with me, and then when I woke up, it was just there. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, sit down in this chair, and I'll usher her over to the chair in the room. You wait there, I'll be right back. And he turns around, rushes out the room.
Where are you going?
Just a second. And he leaves. Okay. You hear his door open, rushes in, you hear like bags being thrown and metal falling over. And then like a couple seconds later, he comes back in holding the pearl, kicks the door on a back kick as he walks towards her. All right. I'm going to try and figure out what this is.
I know what it says. Asuriel could read it. I know what it says.
Why can Asuriel read demonic?
Great question. I don't know. Why is she appearing in my dreams? There's a lot of things I don't know right now. But it's bad. It said Reverax. And I wasn't there for that, but I know that that's the devil that Amrita and the people she was with previously have dealt with.
You would recognize the name.
Collar on her.
You would also recognize the name. The Elder Want would have mentioned it. So Acrio, you would remember it from there. It's definitely involved with Gulst.
I didn't want to tell any of you. I'm sorry.
No, we'll fix it. It's better now than later when it's actually a problem.
I don't think I have much time left.
We'll try and fix that. Just sit back and let me figure out what this is, and I'll start casting with the pearl. Identify. Time to.
It just says it's an arm, dipshit.
What the fuck do you want me to get from this, you stupid piece of shit?
As you go through the ritual to cast this spell, the lengthier process that you were taught by the spear sage, Arlen Cord, it's What's it like for Lorelei as she sits there and waits, listening to this, kind of, and not sure what to anticipate?
With her free hand, she's holding on to Acrio's sleeve in like a vice-like grip. She's terrified.
Oh wait, I don't have two hands. I was like, yeah, I go like this. Wait, there's a fucking missing hand.
I'm holding the
Unfortunately, no, not quite. You reach out to do that, but
I was like, wait a
still with that kind of phantom
Just
limb.
like,
yeah.
But setting the hammer next to you both and channeling this magic that comes from this angelic source, and yet it's more like a location almost that is channeled through the hammer and through you as conduits. You feel a fiery blackness, a red darkness in the mana that has produced this. You feel something like tunneling. The best you could describe is how you think a mole must feel as it like tunnels through the earth in the way that these were carved onto her arm.
All right, looks like we have all the more reason to go to Thraben.
am I gonna live that long?
We're certainly going to try. Which means we need to get out on the road as soon as possible, which means
We
today.
can't do that.
We can't stay here.
Everything we've just been through, everyone needs to rest. You're stressed out. Amrita says we need money. Cillian was right. It is coming from me. Maybe I should just go.
And Rita, I have plenty of money to get it. Damn hunter can't even farm for her own food.
Just as a reminder, you guys did butcher that horse that was killed from the Bitter Hearts. You will have to have that processed, but that will function as supplies if you pay to have it, properly preserved.
Yeah.
That will also take a bit of time. Otherwise, it's raw meat that's going to start going bad within a couple days.
Gross.
Yeah. We have errands to run. Maybe we can go to Val. He knows a doctor, right? Maybe he can keep you running on fumes a little while longer.
I'm scared.
That's Innistrad for you. But you have us. Let's take a look after you.
If things go wrong, don't put yourself out for me. Okay? If this is too much, you can just let me go. I'm fine with that.
And I tuck the pearl in my pocket and I grab her hand and pull her up from the seat. It's my job to look after you all, whether you like it or not. I'm not just going to ditch you on the side of the road because you become too much of a burden. So come on.
I think demonic arm is a bit more than just a burden.
You can complain about how I should leave you on the way. Let's go. I believe I know where the doctor's is. I think I showed up with Cillian and Val being like, hey, fucko, you doing evil shit?
Mm-hmm. Yes, which maybe he is, maybe he's not. You don't know. But yeah, you guys are able to make your way that direction. Amrita, you're not sure what to expect as you approach this row of housing units, brick structure, very simple, where the remaining family members of the burgomaster, Ulrund Yond, have been staying. You're almost wondering if maybe they took the opportunity the night before to escape. But as you and Cillian approach, you find sitting out in front, kind of on the street, as there are people moving in and out of the steps going up to it. To the side of that, there's a small table with an umbrella set up to cover it. Old woman looking as proper as she can in an older dress that you can tell is a little road weary. Her younger son, hair swooshed back and done up, beard finely trimmed along the jawline, mustache shaved in the same way you had seen Yond style his own, though the younger one is much darker, no gray showing. He stands at the side in nicer clothes, leather armor, and a basket-hilted rapier at his side, which his gloved hand kind of rests across as he just watches you approach. The table itself is set out with simple and somewhat mismatched tea set and like a little tray of biscuits.
This looks wonderful. When did did you set this up today? I mean, this wasn't here yesterday.
Of course. We have a meeting. Sit.
I hope you're not... I'm here too. Hi.
Very clearly.
Sorry.
Who are
Sit
you?
down.
Doesn't matter. Amrita sits and kind of like almost has a look about her, but there's a moment where she shifts over to Dimitri and she has to blink as she tries not to think of Yond in her head and ripping out his throat.
The smirk on his face is very reminiscent of the smirk on the elder Yond's face when he would sit at the table in his manor and treat with you and the former party you were with, including Lorelei.
Am I sitting next to Amrita?
Wherever you would like.
Yeah, I think I'll be sitting next to Amrita.
Dimitri is not seated. He's standing behind his mother.
I just... No, he'll refrain. He thinks about like touching Amrita to reassure her, but then thinks she might hate that. So,
yeah,
refrains.
There's almost like this level of hostility that's there, but she's keeping calm as she can about it.
Dimitri, please. Young man will look down at his mother, roll his eyes almost before he picks up the teapot and starts like pouring them into the little china glasses in front of the three of you. Obviously not thrilled about serving in this moment, but do as his mother asks.
There doesn't smell like there's any kind of poison in this stuff, right?
Make a medicine check or nature.
Before she's checked, Cillian's already sipped it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, Amrita, all you need to do is deduct what you know of them. Are they the type of person who would put a poison in their own glass or in yours?
I see what you did there.
However, there is no toxins that you can smell when you give it a sniff.
Appreciate the courtesy.
The older Yond woman would, maintaining a very rigid posture and hands properly folded, and in a way that you would think she belongs in more of a grand estate house than the street of a small town in Stinzia that smells like cow shit. The Yond family is nothing if not decorum. Now perhaps you tell us what this meeting is all about, truly.
I demand answers that I'm hoping you can give me that your son obviously could not. And also I know, again, about your other family member that you kept locked downstairs in the estate. I could hear her cries, and that night that I ran out and escaped.
Answers to which questions?
How did your husband know that I existed? In Kessig far away.
Before or after?
Both.
My understanding, limited as it is, as I was not directly involved with his affairs is that he was sent at the behest of the Veiled to kill a certain family. You were a member of it. Beyond that, I have no knowledge of reasons.
Cillian almost sees her, like, kind of, like, her hands, like, even though they're gloved, they, like, go into her thighs, and she just inhales for a moment and just focuses, trying to discern if there's any lying going on, or that's something the woman could be hiding.
You can make an insight check. You do have disadvantage because it's actually you would have on the nature check also because you have the level of exhaustion, so you might just want to switch to disadvantage for everything. Milova is the type who would very easily give a grain of truth and hide much more. So it's difficult to know if that's what she's doing or if she's being as clear as she can. You really don't know for sure.
Why did he hurt the family that I had? They did nothing.
The motivations of the Veiled are, as their name would suggest.
Do you know if they're still kicking? These Veiled?
Very much so. We were pursued, overtaken. And that brings me to my next point. As she watches to make sure that nobody, like, enters or exits, she picks up her little glass. It's come to my attention, several belongings to my family were intercepted on the road and brought here. They are currently in the stables. Anything else I'm willing to give you will be in exchange for our property.
How do I know you won't lie? You could give me any kind of information.
Lies are the way of Innistrad, my dear.
Lies can sometimes bring you closer to the truth, you know? Because the best lies have truth in them. Just have to discern it.
So if I get you this stuff, you could tell me what I need to know.
I'm still not entirely sure what you think you need to know.
Clearly there was something for some damn reason, if you say I'm a part of some other family, that he was looking for. I just want to know why he just murdered innocent people's lives.
As I said, the reasons were not shared with me.
You said the Veiled were pursuing you? Do you think they might try to recruit you? Replace the hole that's been left? Will you?
The Veiled don't like loose ends. As little as my son and I would know about any of these affairs, it's still too much for them.
Hey, protect yourself.
A fine job we've done so far. Dimitri getting himself kidnapped.
You're welcome, by the way. What have you done with your daughter? I'm curious.
We have an accord as it pertains to my family's property. Sentimental items will be returned.
Can we just ask what it is first? Before we agree to anything?
She would describe basically the cart that Acrio has been dragging behind, and many of the items in it.
I think this is your decision, Amrita. I'd be inclined to give their shit back. Or
Cillian just like stuffed his mouth with food, and Amrita's like, for once, not paying attention.
He's definitely
to him.
just indulging with whatever there is there.
Yeah, like he just sees that she's staring straight at the woman and at Dimitri. Does it sound like there's any noise that goes on inside the house while she's talking to the two of them? She keeps an ear out while also.
I mean, there are people getting back from church at this point, so yeah, there's motion.
Oh, I meant house, like the house inside their house, but I guess that would make sense if I wouldn't hear anything.
Their house is not one house. It's
Oh,
like
it's
it's
connected.
like a
Okay.
building with a bunch of apartments in it.
Okay, that makes sense. Never mind. Will you even tell me if you recognize him as well? I'm sure you would. And she sets down the wanted poster of Fabian on the table.
Leans across to look at it, picks up one of the biscuits, and my husband hired this vagabond for a number of jobs, menial tasks.
Imagine he paid well.
Much of Miss Mablethorne's wealth that she had was from my husband's payments.
That's like a fucked up thing to say, by the way. Try to keep it civil.
Fine. I'll get stuff for you in return for what you gave. But don't think for a moment that if there's something awry here, I'll collect on the second life that your family should owe me.
I think she would. The Ons don't owe you anything, but we will trade for what is ours. It's a bit inappropriate to speak of Stella on the street like this, but she is afflicted with a disease, one that you know plenty about, one that requires silver shackles during certain times of the moon. I can't speak to how, but in some way, my husband became aware of your condition, believed you had survived something, I think, whatever task he had been sent before. And when he realized this, he thought you could be useful.
Clever bastard.
He really was, wasn't he?
But a sick one at that. We're done.
That may be your perspective.
Amrita, could you teach her?
I perhaps could. It's a possibility. I help your daughter. You help me. No one has to get hurt again in the process or lose anything.
There's no way you can help my daughter unless you somehow found a way to remove this disease, cure it. And I don't think that's the case.
You know, you can learn to live with disease.
Maybe you can.
Oh, guess I don't know your daughter. I just guess having a shot at a life would be something you'd want for her.
I guess that's what will always be the difference between me and your so-called husband. I thought of the life that his family could have versus what was taken from me.
Stensia is a land that takes, and those who have are those who take back. What exactly are you willing to take back? You see Dimitri's hand kind of like twist so that his palm is gripping the pommel of his sword. Is there anything else you would like to know?
Yeah, is there dairy in these cookies?
I'm quite certain there would be.
Fuck. Nothing else.
Yeah, at that point I think Amrita would stand.
Unless, you're going on the road soon, I could read your fortunes. Make sure everything's going to be all right for you.
She does seem a little interested in that. I don't think we're going to be on the road anytime soon. Looks over at Dimitri. Despite my son's protests.
Okay. I thought you were. I'm sorry. Free of cost. Maybe a copper piece for my time if you have it.
Show us what you can, Vistani.
I pull the cards from a deck and just start like magician like try to skillfully, shuffle them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, trust me, I've picked up quite a few things, and I spread them.
Mm-hmm.
Realized one of them went wrong. And grab them again, and shuffle them again, and spread them again, and now they're perfect. Oh, sorry, it's been a while, but it's in the cards. It's not in me.
So how does this work?
There's quite a few different ones. I like the short one the best because it's less work for me and gives the most useful stuff, in my opinion. Past, present, future, that kind of thing. 3 cards. Pick one.
I will have you roll for these.
Sure.
So go ahead and roll 3d54. Interesting. Cillian, you instantly recognize when she pulls the first card and lays it out on the table, it is the dungeon card representing isolation and imprisonment. It's also one of the cards that was drawn by Asuriel in the reading with Lady Amamar.
Takes note of that, but wouldn't mention it at all. But definitely, ooh, that's interesting. And he'll say, that one is interesting. It's about your past. Your past doesn't seem to be an isolated one on your own, because, I point at her son, which means probably has to do with something you did. You can make of that as you will. I just try to interpret. I don't want to fill it in for you, so to speak. Just be nice to people.
The next card you pull is the 5 of Swords, the Myrmidon, representing great heroes and sudden reversals of fate. Triumph of underdogs even over a mighty enemy. Kind of a David and Goliath type situation.
No. I hope you see yourself as the hero. I genuinely hope that for you, because otherwise, what are you doing? I know my interpretation of this. Especially, there's a bit in this about change. I hope you don't blame Amrita too much.
Dimitri would say, aren't we all in our own stories?
I believe so.
Getting a little impatient, he's going to reach down and flip over one of the other cards. You see is the 4 of Coins, the merchant card, which can represent deceitful or dangerous transactions, but can also mean a rare commodity or opportunity. So how you interpret that is up to you.
Opportunity comes after change. Grasp it. I think we're creatures of fate, And fate is interesting because it's equal parts you and not you. If something is not your destiny, you can try and try, not get there. And if something is, and you don't work hard enough, it is just as fleeting. Try and do good. It's what I've learned. People like you a lot better.
Make an insight check.
Can I let Amrita make that one? I don't think you'll be looking out for
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, I'll roll it, but I don't think he's that.
Sure.
I don't think he cares that much.
This time, Amrita, watching all of this go down, you see the old woman almost look a bit shaken. She's maintaining a rigid facade.
Yeah, most of it she kind of is rolling her own eyes like much of Dimitri, but she catches sight of that and notes it.
It's as simple as that. No payment required. And I flip the 3 they flipped over on again. And I grab them, shuffle them, and just for myself, look at the top one real quick. Just for Cillian's sake.
Cool.
That's basically his insight check, right? That's what he feels about whatever. I think you get what I mean.
Yeah, so the top card, when you kind of look at the deck, just glancing at it, it's the 4 of stars, the abjurer, which represents those guided by logic and reason, and kind of a warning against overlooking anything, overlooking clues.
Oh, okay. So, do you want to get your card yourselves? Should we bring them here? That's a lot of work. Please pick them up yourselves.
We have no more steeds or beasts to carry a 10-by. Not sure even my son is strong enough to pull a wagon himself. If you would bring it to us, I will give you one more warning. In Corsica, my husband was conducting affairs for the Veiled, the executions, the public burnings of criminals. It was supposed to attract something. The suffering was intended to draw in a devil, something named Riverax. You interrupted that, but I don't think the Veiled would be so quick to abandon their intentions.
A name that keeps to move.
Thank you for the warning. We'll keep an eye out. And you're staying here for the foreseeable future then?
Indeed.
We might not. Would you consider sending a letter if the Veiled are, I don't know, doing something?
A letter to whom?
Well, to me, if you like. To Amrita. To... I don't know, Thraben in general. I don't know many buildings or like inns in Thraben. I'm afraid. Usually avoided it, big city, you know.
If there's anything worth sharing, we will. I'll put it that way.
Thank you very much. Anything else, Amrita?
No. Let's go.
As you get up to leave, she'll take this partially torn lace fan, open it up and kind of start waving her face. And you just, as you're departing, hear her lean over to Dimitri. Yeah, it wasn't quite so bad. We can be civil.
Strange woman, that one. You okay?
That's an understatement.
You're really okay.
He almost sees her falter in her step for a minute. They walk further and she just stands, and it's like she almost just goes blank, just kind of just staring off into space.
I think she believes in fate. Or at least puts weight in it. I think deep down she knows that what she did had to happen, even if she doesn't want to face it.
Question is what it was. Oh yeah, I'm sure, especially if it wasn't for what her husband did had to happen, Cillian. Fate is just a stupid thing. But it should be core.
That's for sure. And most of the time it's more bad than good. But that doesn't mean there isn't any. I think we found it. At least a small part of it. I found it. And I met you.
Why do you try to still be friends with someone or attempt someone like me? I'm brash and I have this moment, or someone like Lorelei that just, I don't understand. You didn't even know us. And why did you even help those other werewolves? It's puzzling. And even Acrio, he calls me a friend. Why?
I think you've noticed that I change from second to second. I don't know. Amrita, I won't be around much longer. And before Corsica, I was doing fuck all. I was having fun. I was scamming people, bad people. But I don't know. I realized that maybe I can leave something behind. And I think it's with you all. If you want to know why I try to be your friend, it's fun. I like teasing you.
Does this fall into the curse that you said that you have? Couldn't you just pass it on to somebody else?
No. Every male member of my family has had it for generations. Since the Vistani began, I think. And I'm sure they've tried. But everyone's died. My grandpa was 29. He was the oldest. Most die when they're 14. I'm lucky.
How old are you now?
I'm 24. And
she laughs. 24 and you act so outrageous.
Why don't you try and acting a little bit more outrageous? Where's the harm in that?
I used to be. That was a long time
I can
ago.
see it. Young Amrita
What?
playing 2 truths and a lie and making up 3 lies. I'm gonna do something, and you're gonna hate it. But keep still for just a few seconds, maybe. And I go in for a hug.
She just like arms up, just like really confused.
I don't think you've had one of those in a while. And I know it doesn't mean much coming from me, but you deserve them a little bit more.
Thanks, I guess. It's going to suck later when I have to. You know what sucks the most? She like kind of like awkwardly pushes it away. It's like, all right, that's a little too much. I guess we're not so different when it comes to that thing. And honestly, it may sound terrible. Yes, I've known Lorelei the longest, but all right, so a lot of the people we traveled with, I never really actually knew them. I just, it's often better to just keep to oneself, pretend you don't know many things, and I think maybe sometimes that's why I either have a problem, because when you kill someone, you don't expect them to be your friend afterwards and talk, and I feel like that's all the connection is there, with that victim thing.
Yeah, Lorelei is definitely an interesting one. I think with her, it's... she would never leave you, even if you killed her thrice. And I don't think that's healthy. It's not good for her. But it's the way she is. And sometimes you just have to take things at face value. Appreciate someone for who they are. And you've killed more people than that, right?
Only 2. Yond was out of revenge, and because of that, I feel like that is what caused my downfall in the moment when I don't remember what happened, and all of a sudden, the corpse of her body and the blood. As soon as Acrio finds out, he might change his mind about me being his friend.
Do you really think so? Deep down, do you really think so? Because I don't. He might hate you for a while, but eventually he'll forgive you. just like you do with me all the time. People are not so complicated when it comes down to things. They like consistency and nice words. Just give some of them. Say you are his friend. Because you are. You know it.
All right. We're getting a little too sappy now. Let's start walking up ahead, maybe. What time is it? Almost 1.
Sure, fuck. I need to go to Myra.
All right. Good luck with that. I'm gonna go see if the horse needs anything and maybe go back to the tavern.
Meanwhile, halfway across Silburn, Acrio is partially dragging Lorelei through the streets to the doctor's office.
I feel like as soon as Amrita comes with like half a mile radius, she's just gonna smell the blood and burnt flesh. Be like, gee, I wonder who that is.
Oh, what's happening? Where am I?
We're going to the doctor's.
Ew. Can't I just, like, kill Lorelei and get it over with?
I mean, she did kind
sure.
of, yeah, has expressed that would be fine.
Oh, good. Okay.
If you dealt max damage with your hammer, I think you probably would.
Yeah.
In one hit.
You have to, all it's going to take is 24 damage and I am dead.
Acrio doesn't even think to knock or see if anyone else is in before pushing the door open and making sure Lorelei gets off the street out of the sight of anyone else.
Full volume shouts for the doctor through his entire house.
Ow.
Val is the first one you see. White-haired Vistani just doing the best he can to, he's got like a broom held in one hand, kind of like sweeping up, but it's difficult with what he's doing. But the doctor is also not far and comes out from that side room looking both of you up and down and immediately recognize Lorelei's state. All right, lay down.
Seeing Val, she's like trying to hide the blood on her. It's like just trying to like cover up the worst of the wounds.
Lorelei,
she's downplaying a lot of this.
I grab her and push her towards the operating mat table.
Okay.
I can cut off your clothing or you can remove it, whichever is going to be easier.
It's all I've got, so she just takes it off.
We'll make sure that the little curtain deal is barricading you from anything else.
She got one arm like clamped over the glyphs on her arm so that the doctor doesn't see it.
He'll have you lay down and do an examination, primarily focusing on the stomach wound, snapping his gloved fingers for Val to bring him, various things. He actually takes out a magnifying glass and something sterile to like push the flesh aside as he gets a better look. It's still weird. He almost has to keep a little bit of a distance because the beaked mask is almost like touching you, which is discomforting, seeing his, weird, face right there.
Don't want to get re-stabbed.
Chink!
The flesh here is very damaged. Have you been able to urinate? Was there blood in it?
I haven't been. No, there wasn't any blood in it that I know of.
That's a good sign. But if this goes any further, there will be, before worse effects. I can operate, but I'll have to remove some of the flesh, some of the organ. The intestines are damaged.
Oh, what if you left it? Would I die?
Probably.
Well then, it's only really one path of action, isn't there?
Depends on how much you want to avoid dying.
She visibly hesitates.
There's the clack of metal boots outside, pacing back and forth.
It's like, Acrio, you can go, I'm here now. I'm fine.
No response.
Yeah. Just Go ahead. Do what you have to do.
Valerie will prepare you for surgery. I need to clean up. This will take time, and it is rather expensive.
That's what I was worried about. I don't have anything.
And through the curtain, you'll hear Acrio say that he'll take care of it.
Acceptable. And he will go to wash up. The surgery is going to take several hours. Acrio probably continues to pace outside, seated for a time, and then back up on his feet. During this, you're not able to be put under. You are given like alcohol to help ease, and he uses various things that will like numb the pain, but you're still gonna have to bite down on something.
Yeah. It's local anesthesia, if that, if I'm lucky.
Lorelei's like, wow, this doesn't feel so bad. I'm used to much worse than this.
I'm like, oh, this is all right. But yeah, normally she's quite stoic at handling pain, but like this, she's quite shaken.
At almost like an inopportune time during this procedure, obviously not finished, the doctor will say, if the Cathar is willing to take care of this, do you think he would be willing to do so in an experimental manner?
He's talking to me or talking to...
He's talking to Lorelei as she's
okay.
like in intense pain.
I'm sorry, come again?
He's missing an appendage. I need someone who's missing an appendage that might be willing to get it back in a means that is somewhat untested.
Okay.
As he goes to like cut again down your intestines.
How did it be done?
Alchemically, partially surgically.
Is it dangerous? Will it hurt him? Is there a risk?
There's a risk he won't have an arm.
If he's willing, go for it. I'll help if I can. If there's anything, I'll help. Once I'm better, I'll clean your place for you. Anything just to...
I have the Vistani for that. As he like directs him to, hand him a forceps with gauze and dab up blood that's still kind of like trickling out of you.
It's like through the curtain. Hey, Acrio, do you want your arm back?
Oh, Acrio stepped outside at this point because like after the first few screams of pain, he's just like out.
Yeah, it's like calls out, realizes she hasn't heard the clicking of the shoes on the floor in a while. It's like, he probably left. That's fine.
Before that, I have heard that you still have the arm. It's on ice or something like this.
It's magically preserved, yeah.
I need it.
I can get it to you. Provided I survive this.
I think there's a good chance of that. Above 50-50. And then he hands you this like leather-wrapped dowel rod. Now bite down on this.
Oh,
this is going to be the worst part.
She just bites down.
Acrio, outside, you can still hear the attempted shriek, muffled though it is, before it kind of dies down and everything goes quiet inside.
Yeah, his hand this entire time is like clammy and wet and like gripping the hammer with all his might. And he's like hyperventilating as he's just standing there, completely normal day.
Panic attack in the street. Panic attack in the street.
Like his body's trying to go into combat mode, but there's nothing to fight.
Oh.
He's a very skilled doctor. All said and done, up to 14 points of your hit point maximum will be restored.
Oh, that's great, actually. Holy shit. So I just...
Your current hit points are not increased, but the maximum is restored. You will still need several days of healing, but after which, given enough time, your hit point maximum can be restored.
That's most of my hit point maximum is 14. It's like
I said, he's very good.
He's
Yeah.
very good at what he does. Holy shit.
What's his name again?
Dr. Mueller.
Doctor unnamed. As the screams finally die down, Acrio will slowly peek his head back in, cold sweats wiping that away.
Just as you go to open the door, you are met with Val, who's a little bit shocked and lowers his head, his hair almost covering most of his face before he waves for you to enter as if he was already on his way to get you.
With Val lowering his head, like Acrio goes into panic mode and shoves past him and runs over to the curtain and throws it open.
You find the doctor with a basin of water. He's still leather clad. His gloves, though, are bloodied as he's dipping him into the water. You see the red just trickling off diluted blood into this basin. Lorelei is laid out, covered and bandaged up, and seems paler than normal, as if she's lost an additional amount of blood. And with the bags under her eyes, the fact that they're closed, it's almost the visage of a corpse before you realize that her chest heaves and you see her breathing, shallow, but still alive.
Yeah, he his hand went to go grab the doctor, but then he saw the slight chest breathing, and he just deflates. She'll be okay.
This procedure was rather simple. Grabs a towel and cleans off his gloves and the parts of his sleeves. However, there is one that I think will be more complicated.
She needs another?
Not her. But I want to try something in exchange for the payment for this. It's up to you, of course, if you prefer coin.
What do you plan on doing?
I've got an experiment I'm working on. It involves the reattachment of severed limbs. I've come under the understanding that your appendage is still within the vicinity.
What do you plan on doing with it?
I want to attempt to put it back on, but I make no guarantees. This is experimental. It will be complicated. The side effects won't be deadly. They may not be pleasant either.
And if Avacyn were to look down upon this procedure, what would she think?
Not my place to question what angels might think. I'm not entirely sure they do.
Well,
Am I
won't
at all
put itself-
falteringly conscious for this, or am I just out?
I'd say you're roll percentile.
Okay.
She out from the screaming, or is she not?
You are 1% conscious, so basically not at all.
Okay.
The screaming did her in.
Well, it won't reattach itself. You have yourself a deal.
He will look at the arms that you do have and then hold out his left hand to shake yours.
Yeah, he'll very hesitantly and very shakily take his hand and shake it.
Mm-hmm.
And
This will have to be after hours, of course. Could take a while. Don't want to deny other patients. Tonight, if possible.
sure. All right. I'll be there. And she'll stay in your care.
Give Miss Fenwick at least an hour or two before she attempts to move, and she will need assistance, but a better bed would be advisable.
I can take care of that. I'll be back in an hour then. Goes to tip his hat, but his hands just pauses and then goes to rest back on his hammer as he turns and leaves.
Val will move past you and start cleaning up some bloodied rags as you exit.
I will skedaddle on back to the tavern, throw all of Lorelei's bedding off of her bed, and then just start casting my channel divinity. Make her a nicer bed.
Okay.
There's springs in bed, right? There's something.
Yes,
metal.
there are springs.
There's something in there. That's metal.
Lorelei, I made you a slinky.
Just gets fucking stabbed. What was that? Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to make a dagger when I make everything else.
Yeah, it's made of metal, so it's a bed of nails. Sorry about that. Just lie still. You'll be fine.
Acupuncture. It's great for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like substantially higher quality because it's kind of a 1-to-1 conversion-ish, but all of the old worn out, like sunken, depressed elements of it.
7 or 8 gold in, make it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, in that case, it is a superior quality mattress.
You're giving the brothel a free upgrade to one of the beds.
Pretty much.
No,
yeah.
we're taking that when we're going. Just walking out with a mattress.
Like 2 movers just hefting it over the shoulder, like, let's go, boys.
Sliding down the stairs.
Yeah, just Lorelei, here you go. Throw her on the mattress, push her down the stairs.
Hi, I'm Lorelei Fenwick, and this is Jackass.
Oh, God.
Terrible.
And then I'll rush back over.
This is going to be really awkward, and we have to explain what happened to the others.
And pick up Lorelei.
Cillian is going to meet with Myra.
Yeah. I just head over there.
Still staying at Casper Lowe's place. You would find that she, still in her nicer church clothing, she has one of those interesting, like, waffle cone wrap deals with the frozen dairy thing that you had seen as she's, like, waiting outside the house.
Hey, I made it.
Yeah, that's nice. Wow, where were you the other night?
Because
I mean, there's still some of the leftovers, and Casper tried to keep them cool and, on ice and everything so they wouldn't go bad.
Listen, Myra, at one point in my life, I might have given you an excuse, a lie. I think you deserve more than that. And sometimes people are not going to show up. And it's going to suck. But here, and I grab the bracelet, which I've wrapped in like a little bit of fabric. It's not a lot. I'm flat broke. Literally not one copper piece. Here, give it to her. So it's not much, and it doesn't make up for not being there.
She'll unwrap it and look at it, and even though it's almost like hesitant, you see she can't help but smile.
Myra, how are you feeling?
Fine, I guess.
Better
than
wait.
Living in a cave.
Yeah, definitely. Jake, I wanted to ask about the Kraken's Reach.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the closest place we could cash that in?
Silburn probably would have one. One of the various stores around here would be a franchisee, I guess. Subsidiary.
Okay, great. This place is going to have a hard time in the near future. It's
okay.
It has to do with why I wasn't there.
But you can't say.
I can't.
That's fine. Mr. Lowe says that sometimes even things people want to say that's just too complicated.
Lowe is a smart man. Here, And I give her the Kraken's Reach check. This is a lot of fucking money. If you ever want to leave and go and find my family, your family, they're waiting for you. They know you're coming. They're in Lambswold now, but I don't think for much longer. This is enough money to get you there. Give the rest of it to Andre. He's amazing. He'll show you around. But if you want to stay here, there's nothing I can do to change that. But this is for you.
Thank you for everything, and I think this is the first time anyone's let me choose what I want to do. Thank you for that.
Of course. Now, you said there were leftovers?
Yeah, I think Mr. Lowe was going to put some on the stove for after church.
Oh, lovely. Well, I'll stick around till then, okay? I know a game we can play.
I'm sure you can stay.
And I just want to spend the afternoon with her. Try and make up a little bit.
During that time, Casper would try to pull you aside for a moment, perhaps when Myra goes to change into something that's a little less fancy. Listen, Vistani, I very much liked hosting this child, but I don't think she can stay. I'm quite cursed, you see, and I think we are tempting fate the longer she stays here in what might happen.
Is that a figure of speech, or are you actually cursed?
I wish it was a figure of speech. I think it is more literal than that.
Well, you're preaching to the choir. Yeah, I just gave her the means to. She's in a weird place. I don't think she remembers everything, and maybe she needs a little bit more time, but Lady Amamar, I've heard things about her. She's never wrong, and she'll end up there. So I think before long she'll want to leave. I don't think it's even going to be 2 weeks. Is that too long for you?
It's not an issue for me. My concern is for her. I will see about arranging a stagecoach. Perhaps where should I direct them to go? Cross the Gyre to Gavany?
I'd want her to go to Lambswold.
Keswick. That can be arranged. It's much further, more expensive, but can be done. And I will ensure that she has safe passage through any Inquisition checkpoints.
How are you, Casper?
Personally, I'm fine.
Yeah? Okay,
This curse affects those around me. That is the worst part. It doesn't even affect me. I'm free of it, and yet I watch its effects around me.
I'm sorry. We all have to live with our own curses. My curse doesn't affect me either. Not the big one.
I do understand.
How long have you been alone?
Since I came to Silburn. There was a young woman I took a fancy to. When first I arrived, the vampires got to her rather quickly. After that, it seemed wise to keep a distance from personal relationships and keep things professional.
I hope one day you'll find someone again. Somehow. Myra, you look even more beautiful. I mean, it's ridiculous. We'll spend the rest of the day there. Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you guys want to do?
I think Amrita would go to the tavern just to see if she sees anybody there briefly, but I think she's going to specifically look for Acrio after having some thinking.
Probably immediately run into him.
Acrio.
Even if you don't run into him, you hear the clanking metal. Easy to follow.
His boots precede him.
It's just, wait, where's Acrio? 1 sec.
Yeah, 1 sec.
Clink, 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 clink. Yeah. That way.
Acrio, do you have time to talk, or you seem like you're in a bit of a rush?
He looks behind him at Amrita as he's like, his hand is moving. You know what? No. He has 2 hands. He has another hand that's completely ethereal, that's grabbing pieces out of the air and putting it into this bed as he channel divinities. Like it's still there. And that ethereal hand kind of puts a finger up to Amrita. I just, 1 more minute and you'll have 100% of my attention, as he focuses back and kind of finishes pulling the pieces into this bed as it solidifies into a solid object. The arm fades away and it's back to his stump, and he stands up, dusts himself off, and looks at Amrita. All right, you have my attention.
Look, we've been traveling for a while together, and well, I just wanted to say sorry for some things, maybe back in Kosovo especially, but you have to understand the situation there. It's deadly, you know.
I can only imagine, as a werewolf, you have a very bitter, lonely, and stressful life. So I don't hold it against you.
Yeah, but there's something you're not going to want to hear it, but I think it's important that you know. If you have time, you just look a bit rushed all of a sudden.
No, Lorelei's not going anywhere. I have a second.
Where is she?
I took her to the doctor to have her stomach taken care of when she got impaled by the creature. She's fine. The surgery went well.
Surgery? I'll accompany you then. I haven't really been... Listen, there's just... I am a little bit different than probably most with this capability. But all of that is hard to explain, but there were 2 instances. Look, you called me your friend, and after talking with angels help me, Cillian of all people, about some stuff. Don't tell him I said that. He'll get even more smug than before, please. Jan did stuff that happened, and well, that was a person I killed out of revenge and for good reason, and was obviously satanic and cultist in the end, but she feels like herself just like wanting to throw up and like sweating. That's like, Lorelei has died before.
You're gonna have to give me more details than that.
When I say that she's died before, I say that the person who killed her, it was me.
Before I say anything else, can I ask why?
I don't know what happened. We were traveling back in some kind of vampire territory. There was this old man. I don't remember. He was a skinwalker or something else, some kind of monstrosity. And it was the Hunter's Moon, and I just remember coming back, and there was blood all over.
You lost control.
It was the only time. I swear. And I almost... There was a Cathar I know that I was going to let them kill me, but another person at the time I knew, they prevented that from happening. And she was dead, but that's why I wanted to part ways, especially in Silburn away, because I feel traveling with her, it's putting all of the three of you at risk. And Cillian and Asuriel, they already know. She told them when you were passed out from the witch thing.
And I reach up because I know she's fucking tall as hell. And I put my hand on her shoulder, and I kind of like squeeze it a little bit. My hand's still shaky and clammy, and then I point at her. If you did do what you just said you did, and she's still here, living and breathing, then now, more than ever, she needs you around. She needs all of us right now to take care of her. She's not doing so well, and we're going to try and get her to Thraben. There's something wrong with her, and I don't know what to do, but I'm hoping the angels of Thraben can help her. The doctors kept her going a little longer, but something about Riverx is carved into her arm.
And at that, Amrita grows very pale and her stomach gets sick. And there's a look of fear in her eyes, like the first time that she's really actually horrified, and jolts back some as soon as Acrio says that.
Do you know the name?
That was the devil that got out in the ghost. And the same one that bastard Jan was trying to bring. His wife said so. That's something else different, personal, but no.
Seems like you know who this Riverx is.
It's
So we
the
need
reason
you
why
around.
so many people died. I promised to help get your arm back because I feel it wasn't... You shouldn't have lost your arm in that dungeon. I will do what I can before I focus on what I originally meant to search for, but as a parting and as a forgiveness for the sins I might have committed and the wrongings I've done.
Amrita, just don't... There's a lot of stuff to take care of, and if you burn yourself from the inside out, there's not going to be any Amrita left. Just be yourself and be here for us. That's all you have to do. You don't have to be more. You don't have to hide. You don't have to run. Just be here. And for my arm, I'm going to the doctor tonight. He says he might be able to reattach it. I don't know how, and I don't know if the angels would approve of it, but it's my arm. And if there's some way to get it back on, then I'll take it.
I will be there then. When you wake and when hopefully she wakes as well. We should probably get going.
Yeah, I'll need the extra muscle. And we'll leave to retrieve Lorelei.
Who is partially conscious when you arrive at the doctor's office.
Feeling better?
Kinda. Am I dead?
Unfortunately, not yet.
Okay.
Had me worried there for a second. You're even more pale than you were before.
Oh, fuck. I didn't know that was possible.
And I look to the doctor, ask him if she's good to go.
Just be careful. Don't want to reopen any wounds.
Will do.
Yeah,
All right.
Rita awkwardly shuffles over, but if Acker's like the first gonna grab her, like she sees that she's there standing.
Hey. Hi. Sorry, there's a lot that you missed, Amrita. Sorry.
I could say the same, but it doesn't matter. Here, I'll get the other side while you get the side, Acrio.
The doctor will provide a simple stretcher.
Yeah, I was about to say, just grabbing her legs and grabbing her arms is probably not the best idea,
Yeah.
so I was just gonna, like, fireman carry her. But if we got a stretcher, then...
Yeah, it'll take a bit to kind of get her to shift off of the operating table and onto
Ow,
it.
ow,
but-
ow. My
Yeah,
spleen
just
hurts,
like-
and I don't even know what one is.
Yeah, what's a spleen?
Yeah,
I don't know, but mine hurts.
Shouldn't I? Didn't go near that. I should maybe check on it.
Maybe
Unless
maybe I just pulled it when I'm screaming. I'm trying to make light of the situation. It's a joke. I'm not good at them.
I see.
You can come back tonight, check on her in the morning, maybe.
I'll send Val around for the stretcher.
Right. Alright. I'll be back when the sun sets.
Perhaps Asuriel and Val could look after Lorelei, and Cillian and I could come with you. If you
Whatever
need
you
someone
want to
there.
do. In case my arm comes alive as an undead creature and tries to kill us all. You know. You never know with the alchemical.
I'm capable of alchemy, and that's never really a thing that's happened.
Not yet.
You have some knowledge of alchemical supplies.
Yes, I do.
I'd ask for your assistance in this matter.
I don't want to get my arm retouched by Amrita.
I don't want the medical student in the operating theater, thanks.
No. I would
took
be
a
glad
class once.
to assist if you tell me how.
Clearly, I'm not going to have you performing anything. I need someone who understands the terminology.
Terminology, yes.
Acrio, like, looks nervously at his stump. Oh yeah, I can't fucking fireman carry her. I have one arm.
Yeah.
Like, go to pick her up and you just drop the head.
Difficult enough even to function the stretcher.
Oh
but-
my god.
You'd have to, like, hold, like, the middle part of the stretcher, like, not the handles.
I like tie like 2 pieces of rope around it and like carry it with one arm.
That just-
Yeah,
that just
probably
looks-
hook it in the elbow.
Yeah.
The easiest way to keep
Yeah.
it hoisted.
Oh my god.
I really wish I could walk right now. That looks tragic.
You're not
You.
walking.
That's why I'm coming back to get an arm reattached.
Can I come? I want to be there at least.
No.
You're going to have to lay down and rest. At least according to what Acrio said.
Can anyone amongst your group channel mana?
Fortunately, that's her right here. As well as myself.
I have some left. Kind of tired, but I think I could throw something out.
That may be useful as well. Just don't
Yes.
overexert yourself.
One more person, but I don't know about her anymore. Symbols carved into her arm. She has the restraints that Avacyn puts on demons. What is... We can talk about that later. Right now, less stress. Let's get you to bed. And if you're feeling better, you can come home.
Wait, hold on. Do you think Asuriel has something to do with what happens to my arm?
I don't know, but I found her on the side of a road, naked, in the middle of the mountainside.
I feel like this sounds like a Cillian story, but so it's hard to believe.
That's how it
How
happened.
how much time have you been spending with him? Because it's starting to rub off on you.
You don't want to know that he tried to break into someone's house earlier, but don't worry, I stopped him.
I don't know that.
You want to make a Deception check.
I'll make
With
it
disadvantage because you have exhaustion.
25. Yeah, baby.
But that's also a disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't believe
No!
that
She's not gonna say
Oh, I still beat her.
Yeah. That sounds like a Cillian story.
You
Okay.
really don't want to know. Just don't ask, please.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I get it.
Acrio, did you tell Amrita about my aunt?
I did. And we have a lot of things to talk about when everybody's rested and well. We can figure out what's going on here and where we're going next, because right Avacyn, there's a lot of bad stuff going on right now.
I don't know if it means anything, but the dream that I had, I saw a horde of undead sort of shambling towards Silburn. Strangely enough, you two were among them, and someone else. But I thought maybe that was just because of what we saw at the graph, but I don't know. That's what happened when it appeared on my arm anyway. And I've been having weird dreams lately.
Weirder than normal,
Mm.
which is saying a lot. Lorelei, you would specifically remember they were skinless and had the heads smashed in, which in the dream may have not made a connection, but as you have more time to think about it, you recall the bodies in the caves that were clinging to life, one of which begged you to end it, and you did so with the moon silver flail.
She starts, making that connection. She starts to like hyperventilate a little bit, and like grabs the side of the stretcher.
Lorelei, just please, let's stop thinking about this. We'll put a pin in it.
Points at the sewn up where I've been impaled. I've had enough pins in things lately, thank you.
Well, we can talk about everything in the morning when we're in better condition.
Amrita?
Right.
Amrita,
What?
I saw Lars. In one of my dreams, he was there.
Lorelei,
I want to tell her, okay? Because I don't know what the next dream's going to be, and I don't know what it's going to do. I just want to tell her now. He was there.
I am concerned that if your arm has Riverak's name, what tricks he could be playing in your mind. As demons or anything evil does, they prey on our weakest things and weak points.
So that might not even have been him.
It's
yeah,
just a
which is
guess.
worse.
It's a guess on my part, but she tries to think, would there have been knowledge or some stuff like that her mentor would have ever talked about of just monstrosities or creatures like that would manipulate people to look out for them?
Yeah, there are definitely things that can get into your mind and mess with it. Shielding against that is one of the things he tried to teach you.
It's important to shield against stuff like that. I learned it from somebody long ago, so it might have looked like him, but it could have been someone manipulating you. I'm sorry.
And Lorelei just kind of shrivels up and stays quiet.
To the tavern we go.
Yep.
As soon as you get back to the Brass Bell Saloon and you're trying to make your way up the stairs, the door opens with a bit of haste, and as the light kind of streams in, you find the silhouette of the priestess Renfert standing in the doorway, looking about and catching sight of all of you as you're trying to make your way up the stairs. She rushes toward you, and Asuriel follows behind her.
As soon as he sees Asuriel, he takes a single back step.
Which jolts Lorelei a little bit down the stairs.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Sorry. Priestess. What brings you so urgently?
I'm sorry, you look busy. Get her up the stairs, please.
Yeah, walk
How
and
wounded
talk.
is she?
Very.
I'm okay.
I was
She's
hoping to
going
see
to-
you this morning in the service, but I did not. I was a bit worried.
Yeah, I've been through it. Like, she's still trying to keep it, like, add a bit of levity to the situation.
Please, continue.
Yeah, and we'll carefully walk her up the stairs.
Yep.
It would be best if we could speak in private. In any case, yes.
Yeah, come along.
We can talk in her room. Unless this is a one-on-one conversation.
No. It's looks back at patrons in the tavern. Getting into the room. I'm sorry, I don't want to harp on this too much, but the situation in the grass is not getting better.
We're back?
I don't believe they have ever left. There's signs now of more than one.
I knew it.
We know at least two of whatever it is.
I can prep some stuff and what information I have to take care of these things, but even then, it would have to be very cautious to move around them because they can paralyze, and while they focus more on the dead, they can still easily kill and take the living.
Of course, I would turn to the Cathars if so many of them were not busy with the tower.
And slow.
Well, there is that as well. They are guarding the area. These creatures, they do not seem to wish to attack the living, but the dead are a concern as well. These are the remains of loved ones.
Unfortunate.
I don't want to put this on you, but since you had volunteered and seem to have some more knowledge than what locals do, I had hoped there would be some opportunity to handle it. But I see one of you is, well, in need of healing more than anything else.
The good news
Tomorrow
is
night.
that, yes, the good news is, though, is that they are not really highly intelligent creatures. So can skirt around that part, but...
This is good.
Amrita,
Yes.
I had an idea. What's the most powerful poison that you can make?
She thinks about it for a moment. I'd have to look at the recipes I've been memorizing. There's 2 different ones, but only one of them, or at least the notes that I found in the tower, would probably be beneficial. I can't think off the top of my head. There hasn't
Okay.
been time to specifically go over the recipe.
What's your idea, Acrio?
Tonight isn't an option.
Clearly.
Tomorrow night, we'll be better prepared.
Can you move the dead elsewhere temporarily and try not
That
to have
would-
them in the ground?
It would
Have to
require digging up every grave in the graph. It would disturb more than it would assist. I'm sorry, this is not an option. We have been intensifying wards, trying to keep them away from everything kind of in what these strange tunnels they're making. But we are also tamping those down, trying to make it so those people cannot see them.
What were the other things that Amrita had found? Because she wrote all that stuff down in the notes. I just can't remember specifically what it was.
I mean, you can look up in the monsters and creatures or something like that. Yeah, monstrous creatures, there's one for the carrion crawler, the graph worm. A lot of the information about it is on there. Is there something specific you're curious about? You know that they they kind of hibernate-ish during the day. They remain under the ground. They don't like light. It's more like sunlight, like the sun. One of the reasons they are a little more active in Stinzy is because they don't get direct sunlight. It's still, but daytime itself is a deterrent to them.
Okay.
Is there a way to put like some kind of block in the soil that would prevent them not going to it, or probably not?
We have dead horse meat. And we have somebody that knows how to poison things. If we poison the horse meat, bury it as far as we can, maybe they'll eat it up, get poisoned, and fuck off for a night.
Yeah, fresh meat would probably tide them over for one night while we recover.
We'll have to bury it deeper than any of the other bodies, 10, maybe 12 feet deep. We get it down there, all the horse meat, maybe even just half of it, enough that might satisfy them until the poison kicks in.
Even if that is not exactly the recipe that I have in this book, we'll figure it out. But I need to get on
even
that
just
now.
something. It might, if it's enough to weaken them, that's still something.
Give me an hour to figure this out.
We'll do that. By tomorrow night, after this one, carrion crawlers will die.
It is more than I can ask of your assistance. Very grateful. Avacyn blesses us even from afar. She will do the symbol of Avacyn
I wish
in the air in front of you.
Yeah. All right. So, while Amrita does her poison looky-uppy thing, I'm just gonna be sitting by Lorelei, keeping her company while waiting for night. My own arm in my lap.
Yeah, I think Amrita will sit downstairs just to wait to see if when Cillian will arrive, but she'll obviously be focused on what she's doing. I don't have money though.
Poison's
so.
pretty expensive, and
I have money.
All right, never mind. I found it.
how much money do you have?
71 gold.
I have to
More
eventually owe the
more
doctor
than
some
most of the
gold.
people in the party.
Yeah.
Everyone
Right
in the
now.
party combined, probably.
All right, let me
Dollar,
see.
dollar.
I have novice stuff, so one of the things I took was a healing thing. I'm not sure if one of them. I don't even think I can have a poison one yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure there are any poison recipes at the level that of Amrita's skill.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
You want to try and buy some? I'll go to the store and see if they have like mass quantities of rat poison.
Probably.
Yeah.
While he does that, Amrita will probably. I mean, she'll try to wait for Cillian as long as she can, but get frustrated at the book she has and just go upstairs and just sit in the room awkwardly.
Yeah, Asuriel is going to wait with Lorelei as well.
I wanted to say one more thing to Amira.
Mhm.
Just as I'm leaving, I want to say, oh, by the way, the reason I got you this, my grandma had sort of the same one, and what she'd do every place she'd visit, she'd try and find a pendant. It's a reminder of it. Follow your heart, Myra. Maybe collect some. And I
That's
kiss her on the
really nice.
forehead.
Thank you. Oh, Uncle Cillian.
Won't be gone yet. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Cillian's the
And-
most dad-like.
I'll leave. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, he's the only one who's actually had a kid.
You had a kid?
He mentioned it in the last session.
Yeah,
so
he
it's
totally
like, ooh.
referenced that last session and nobody's addressed it, but
But
Not yet.
to
Lorelei
everybody-
noticed it
addressed
ages
it.
ago, but it's just awkward to bring up. Like, hey,
Like-
hey, dude.
I was this close to having Amrita address, but like, not right now. Press for time.
We got so much shit going on.
Ah!
Yeah, and I'll go to the saloon, I guess.
Cillian, ready to dig a hole?
You can cut the tension with a knife in that saloon, I guarantee it. The vibes are rancid.
A hole.
A hole 12 feet in the graft.
I mean, always. We hiding a body?
If you consider a horse's chopped up corpse a body, then sure.
To draw the things. You're gonna fight him tonight.
Tomorrow night. Tonight, we need to try and poison them. I'm gonna go to the store,
I'm pretty
See how
sure
much-
they are poisonous, so you're gonna have to get a specific poison.
Fuck.
I mean, the doctor asked me to collect some. I presume it was poison. Maybe it was acid or something.
It was a mucus.
It was
Got
mucus
it.
that paralyzes that Amrita would also mention that I think the doctor mentioned as well. Yeah.
He wants it for his he wants it like what's the thing that anesthetics.
Wait, would this just be Cillian and Acrio right now? Cillian finally admits that it would be money wise. No.
Okay. I think rat poison might do the trick, at least upsetting them enough to leave.
Go and attack tonight. Yeah, I agree.
Because we can't deal with them tonight. Lorelei's on the cusp of death. I'm about to get my arm.
Oh,
Breathe
Jesus,
in.
you are! What the fuck, Lorelei?
Yeah, the door like slowly swings open and Lorelei's like,
like just like the Stardew Valley, like the granddad just dying in the bed, like. What's up?
Say it louder in this whole entire place, Cillian, for everyone to hear.
Lorelei's almost dead.
nobody
Right
looks
now,
up.
I wish I was.
Ooh.
Is the priestess still here, or did she leave already?
By the time you got back, she would have left.
Okay. I mean, I'm good enough to keep an eye out tonight for those things, so I guess I'll be staying over. Okay.
If you want to buy every bit of rat poison the general store would have, it's going to run you probably 10 gold, but you don't have to buy that much if you don't want to. It depends on your
needs to
personal
work.
needs.
It needs to work. All the rat poison, and I'll get back to the tavern, and I'll hand half of it to some to Amrita, some to Cillian. Bring us over to the cart. Actually, Cillian wanted to do something. Wait, did I skip over something? Anyway,
So, yeah, you were
we
gonna
go
get
to
an
the-
arm back this night,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk while we're stuffing horse meat with rat poison. And I'll,
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
drag them over and just everybody starts stuffing the meat
Bye.
with rat poison.
Somebody going to mention delivering the Jan's cart back to them?
Oh, yeah. Acrio. I need this cart. I need to take it to the Yawns. I know it's useful, but I really, really need it.
Yeah, sure. It's fine. I don't need it. I was going to sell it off for some extra money. The clothing seemed high quality, but honestly, truly, I don't really need it. So, whenever you need it, we can bring it down, drop it off. It'll probably have to be tomorrow, though.
Yeah, of course. There are things I just... Yeah, it's a lot to explain.
Don't think I've ever done this before. So I can rip apart meat and try to poison it.
Yeah, it is.
This is the
not-
worst. This is the worst spice rub.
Yeah, Acrio has to like jam the meat between his thighs, stab it, and then like jam the meat in with his thumb. It's terrible.
I just watch Amrita like taking the stuff that she took out of the dungeon. She just like puts like liquid in the thing and jiggles it around, just puts it in the meat. I could have saved you guys trouble with this.
You found
More the
something in the
merrier.
dungeon? What? Wait a fucking second!
Yeah, alchemy stuff or like burn buns.
And I take
Bunsen
out the
burners.
jar with the super acid. Oh no, because then I'd have to lose the jar.
Oh no!
It's a valuable jar!
It's a valuable graph that's getting eaten.
Yeah. Where you get money?
Okay,
I mean, I don't think there's a better use for something like this. Unless
Okay.
you want to break into a place, which is always possible.
okay. And I'll take the whole jar and jam it into one of the pieces of meat.
You're making a chicken Kiev.
If it eats this, it will burn it from the inside out. I can guarantee that.
These monsters are still pretty hefty, though. But either way.
We'll find him tomorrow.
If we don't put one out of its existence with this. Yeah. So once all that's done, nighttime I'll grab my arm and
Maybe a bit.
You're able to dig a pretty hefty hole in the graph and like with a wheelbarrow full of poisoned meat, just like tip it till it slumps down into the hole, hopefully creating enough bait. Do you rebury it or just let the air kind of help it decompose?
You guys let it stew until nighttime, then rebury it when you come to check on the graft.
Yes.
I'm fine with staying here anyway. I want to keep an eye on this.
All right. I can come back or something. I was going to help what I can. I know the alchemy terminology again. Unless you prefer I stay here with him, Acrio. It doesn't matter.
I would appreciate every chance I have at getting my arm back, so if you could come with me, I'd appreciate it. You won't die, right, Cillian?
No, I've got enough friends there.
Okay. Good. Save that for later, at least. Give him a thumbs up and...
Soon you'll be able to do that with your other arm. Good luck.
Hopefully, if it doesn't try and kill me.
Ooh, that'd be interesting, an evil arm.
You'd
be cool as fuck.
I don't know if I'd like that.
All right, just don't be a freaking idiot like last time and go running off alone into some random dungeon.
Yeah, you got it. I won't die.
While they're off doing their misadventures, there would be a light knock at the door, and Val would peek in.
Give him a wave. Hi, I'm alive. I'm fine.
Kind of look around, look at Asuriel, and go, and kind of like motion to his missing arm.
Yeah. They went to go do something. They'll be back.
And it shakes his hand, motions to himself, and like doing this, like makes a grabbing motion to the missing arm.
Lorelei just looks at Asuriel. I've lost too much blood. What is he saying?
And he's like, obviously getting frustrated, finds something to write on, puts out a piece of paper, starts to scribble onto the quill. Handwriting is very sloppy. It's obviously not the one he's used to, but holds up a piece of paper. It's like, collect for doctor.
Yeah, I wanna come and help. I don't care what anyone says. I'm coming to this operation too. I don't care.
Again, like puts it on the table, writes later.
Yeah, fine. And she'll like try and get out of bed, and then like be like, it's in that bag.
Yeah, Asuriel will stop you from getting up. No, I'll get it.
Yeah, it's in the bag. It's wrapped up. It's got the coin in the palm. You can probably move that.
Coin's the most important part.
Thank you, and collect that and take it. Kind of like cradling it in his one arm. Just this wrapped up bundle.
And Lorelei will like start very slowly getting up with the intention to sort of make her way over there. It's like snail's pace, just to not hurt herself anymore.
He points to the paper again, like later.
It's like, I really have lost a lot of blood. It just lies back down.
Get up later, you stupid bitch.
So you see like stupid bitch crossed out.
It's like, I didn't say that.
Yeah, she'll just like lie back down and wait for the others. Hopefully.
Acrio was asked to sit in a chair with buckles and straps attached to it, in the center of this room, surrounded by alchemical supplies, Val and Amrita have been directed toward the doctor's organizational system where he keeps everything. Lorelei is also seated nearby because she's incapable of standing for too long. Asuriel is next to her. Cillian is conspicuously absent. On the desk is the unwrapped lower right arm of what would appear to be a male, somewhat calloused hands, in which there is a coin placed, just a simple copper. There are like little jars around it with different colored fluids and like almost like a basting brush that the doctor will dip periodically and wash over the exposed flesh before he picks up the coin from the palm. You see him kind of shrink back hesitantly before he picks up the beak of his mask somewhat. You can see kind of a stubbled chin, unshaven, and he like licks the coin. Gentle repose. Clever.
You can tell that from taste?
It's an acquired taste.
It's one I need to pick up, apparently. And he's
You see the cogs turning Lorelei's head.
Acrio, up until this point, he's like half conscious at this point because he's had some dark fire if there was any available.
There's not, but there was plenty of Revito and Sons beer.
Fuck off and kill yourself. I'm going into this sober then.
I'm going sober. You can't make me not.
Avoids Revito and Son. The doctor will look over the stump of your arm, which has this, almost like weird growths on it, this fatty deposits that have formed, and it's obviously red and somewhat raw because you immediately took an unhealed stump and started wearing a prosthetic over it so that you could have your shield. So it's actually kind of worse for wear and still stings.
Yeah.
You will have to clean that up, and has a tray brought over with scalpel. We're going to have to remove some of the excess flesh.
Just go. Doesn't matter. All in.
Everyone, I want you to witness this. This could be a great leap for the alchemical sciences.
Lorelei reaches over and just like takes Asuriel's hand and holds it, while not taking her eyes off of Acrio.
Wait, what about my hand?
Yeah.
It's like it's grabbing his hammer. His hammer is by his side, and he's like praying to Avacyn while this whole thing takes place.
Yeah, Amrita just squints her eyes at the doctor, but says nothing and watches with intrigue, but still caution at the same time.
As the candlelight in this otherwise dark room flickers off of the reflection in his goggles, and Acrio, you can see the stump of your arm reflected in the lenses as he gets closer with this scalpel. That's where we're going to drop the curtain on this week's session.
Let us begin.